Mixed doubles action here at the Bowling Promotion Tour. This is the first of 4 mixed doubles stepladder matches we'll be bringing you, and today's teams are the number 5 seeds Becca Manning of England teamed with Arenui and Ambiehl of France against the number 4 seeds Emily Rogers of England and Mike de Boer of the Netherlands. The winners of this match face the number 3 seeds Philip Manning and Yvonne Rhodes, both of England. This is our 5th match of 24 and again features Baker doubles competition in that each team member bowls every other frame in our 1-game match. The rest of our stepladder features the number 2 seeds Finland's Pepi Konsteri and Slovakia's David Barak, and our leading qualifiers are Finland's Elisa Hiltunen and France's Kenny Bio. As with our women's and men's doubles pairings, the 18-game qualifying scores were used to determine doubles pairings and seeding. We are back with our 2024-2025 season of the Bowling Promotion Tour in another series of 24 exciting matches for you, including doubles, team, women's, and masters singles competition featuring bowlers from 8 different countries. As we said, all of our competitors have bowled 18 games of qualifying at various locations around France, and we are here at Bowling La Sphère in Fontaine, Comte, about 200 miles southwest of Paris, for our televised finals. Again, we will be running a Baker match here, and it will be the team of de Boer and Emily Rogers on the left lane against Ambiehl and Manning on the right lane. And there is our referee kicking things off. And I think we will see Emily Rogers throw our first shot here on the left lane. And let's see if she's up and ready to go. And there she is. And there is a nice fluid arm swing from Emily. And a good shot. That purple hammer turns up off the dry. And a flush strike to kick us off. Good shot there by Emily. Look at that great knee bend. Solid line position. And the ball turns off the dry to go flush in the pocket. We are on the Gateway Arch 42-foot oil pattern, 9.3 to 1 ratio, 26 mils of oil. So the pocket has been fairly accessible, and we have seen some high scores, which we'll talk about in a minute. Here is Becca Manning with that figure 8 arm swing, very accurate, right over the 12 board, right up the track, and comes up a little light for the week 10. Talked about some high scores. We've completed the women's and men's doubles competition, and it was Kenny Bio and David Barak starting off with the front 9 against Joe Crook and Arenui Ambiehl to take that title. And it was Elisa Hiltunen and Pepi Konsteri defeating Becca Manning and Charlie Burton Williams for the women's doubles title. And you can see those matches on this same channel. And here is Becca going cross lane with the spare ball, and that's a little right, but it catches the dry, hangs on, and makes the 10-pin. She got a little bit of hook out of that ball there at the end, and it's a good thing because that's how it hung on and converted the 10-pin. My name is Bruce Hall. I'm your international commentator for these Bowling Promotion Tour matches, and in the background there you can see Bruno Bidone and Marc Chavet, your French commentators. And Bruno, of course, our most excellent host and promoter. And there is a crumbling bucket for Mike de Boer's first shot to give his team a double. And that is a harsh reality that he's throwing right just inside of the third arrow, and he caught a fair bit of that 9-to-1 ratio. Went down the lane, comes up late, and crumbles the bucket for a double. And here is our first look at young Ambiehl, just 17 years old. Takes that ocean vibe, hits it hard, but boy, did that ball hook. That was kind of unexpected. I don't think he saw that in practice. And watch where this ball ends up. Goes cross over to get the mixer Brooklyn strike, but it ends up behind the 7-pin. So an unexpected, certainly, reaction there for young Ambiehl. Now we're on to Emily Rogers' second shot. Again, she'll bowl the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th frames. And she comes up a little bit high. There's a 6-10, a little bit high in the pocket, but a very makeable spare. And it will preserve their lead. They're up 8 pins right now in the early going. And there is Emily might have lifted up out of that one just a little bit of a pull. Doesn't take much. And now she go across lane for that 6-10. Once again, bowlers from 8 different countries participated in the 18 games of qualifying, and their seeding positions determined men's, women's, and mixed doubles pairings. And even with that spare, nice fluid arm swing, cross lane, and good cover there for young Emily Rogers, we'll say. She also is 17, like Ambiehl. And we have Yvonne Rhodes, who's just 17, coming up as part of our number 3 seeded team. So some young, up-and-coming talent on display here at the Bowling Promotion Tour. Here is Becca Manning in her second shot. Left a weak 10 the first time. Let's see what she does here. Looks like basically the same shot, but it goes through the oil a little bit and leaves the bucket. Thought that would slow down and turn up a little bit, but it must have just caught a little bit of oil down lane and goes through it. And that is the same bucket that De Boer crumbled on his first shot. And there it is, the 2, 4, 5, 8 combination. And lots of ways to miss this. Let's see how Becca does with it. And goes at it, and that's a perfect conversion right there. Beautiful shot there by Becca, converting the bucket. Once again, it is Bruno Bidone and Marc Chavet providing the French commentation for these matches. And stay tuned for Marc's interview with our competitors after the match is over. And here is De Boer. What kind of an adjustment will he make after crumbling the bucket? Makes the shot. That ball turns up perfectly through the pocket. Beautiful shot there. And he got that out to the dry and got some shape on it. And watch this ball get out to about the 8th board maybe. Picks up the dry, turns up. Just how we drew it up, and carries the 10 pin. Let's see what Arenui does on this shot. He's definitely further left. Gets it down the oil, and look at that, a dead flush strike. Perfect adjustment there by Ambiehl. And he got himself left. He must have moved a whole zone left, because watch this ball catch the oil in around the 3rd arrow, and down the lane it goes. Sets up and carries the flush strike. So good shot there. 8-pin match now in favor of the Rogers-De Boer team. And here is Emily with her 3rd shot, and it's another 6-10 for Emily, high in the pocket. And we'll have hopefully a repeat of the same spare shot she had a couple frames ago. I want to thank Storm for sponsoring our women's series. And here is cross lane, no problem on the 6-10. Good conversion. We're clean so far. We have yet but a single double. Mike De Boer and Emily Rogers started off with a double, and that's given them the 8-pin lead. And that's where we are. Again, we want to thank Storm for sponsoring the women's series and Cubica AMF for their continued sponsorship of the Masters series. Also want to thank our institutional partner, National Sport Agency, as well as the regions of Normandy, Brittany, and New Aquitaine, the departments of Calvados, La Manche, d'Ille-de-Vilaine, and Pays de la Loire. And here is Becca's 3rd shot, and there's a half a loaf for Becca. We'd also like to thank the cities of Rouen, Chateaubriand, and Fontaine-le-Comte for hosting this bowling promotion tour. And again, Becca left a bucket, but then she got it even a little bit lighter. Doesn't even get the 7-pin out this time. And that will be half a loaf, which is the bucket plus the 7-pin. An even more challenging spare than was the bucket. She goes at it and gets the chop, unfortunately. And that is going to be a costly mistake. And now that's going to move the lead of De Boer and Rogers up to 20 pins. Very easy to miss that spare. Easy to chop it, easy to come light, easy to miss it on the left. And she got the bucket but could not convert that half a loaf spare. Here is De Boer. He's 2 for 2. Let's see what he can do here. Out to the dry, turns it up. Ring 10, smashing 10. That will give them the 19-pin lead, the double combined with the open. They are now up 19 pins, and Boer was hoping for a strike there to set up his partner. Let's see how Mike attacks the 10-pin cross lane. And textbook conversion there for Mike de Boer. They have 107 in the fifth, pacing to 207. And Ambiehl and Manning 88 in the fifth, so a 19-pin advantage for the team of de Boer and Rogers right now. Now, young Ambiehl is 2 for 2. Let's see if he stays in, works that oil, and finds the pocket again. And that ball gets out to the dry and hooks up for a Jersey squasher. Ambiehl is showing us all the different ways you could strike here. And watch how this ball, he gets it to the right, and watch how that ball bounces off the dry and goes cross lane and squashes the 10-pin out. We call that the Jersey squasher. And it's two very fortunate strikes for Ambiehl. And here's Emily. Can she move off those 6-10s? And now it's just a 6-pin for Emily. And that will reduce their lead to 18. One more mark of count. And she's accurate. She's right around the pocket. That's a little bit closer than the 6-10s, but still leaves the 6-pin. And I think at this point, with the 20-pin lead or 18-pin lead, you don't want to play too many games. You want to stay around the pocket and fill frames at this point. And no problem on the 6-pin. Becca Manning could really, really use a double here for her team. Let's see what she can do. And they're part of the 7th frame. Still can shoot 238. And very nice stroke there. Turn it up to the pocket, and she adjusted off those buckets. But unfortunately, too much, as is very common. I think she moved right and saw a little bit more reaction. You can see how she's lined up to the right. That's right over the 10 board. And look at that ball pickup. And that ball hooks in the mid lane, right through the beak. Lucky not to leave the baby split, and leaves just the 3-pin. So a little bit touchy here for both Ambiehl and Becca in terms of high light on this gateway arch oil pattern. Both seem to both be getting over-under reactions. Trying to tame things down a little bit to control where the ball goes. And they're going to desperately need a double here coming up. Their max now 218. And Mike de Boer, Emily Rogers max at 236. And another shot by Mike, right to the pocket, another ring 10. And the carry, not much of our friend here. It was a ring 10. He's throwing kisses here at our crowd, and hopefully he's not doing that for the ring 10. That was a very good shot there by de Boer. Another lead down to 17. And had no trouble on the 10-pin for his first shot. And let's see how he does here. And he's cross lane and covers the 10-pin, no problem. Now they're down to 225 max, with the Ambiehl and Manning team still able to muster 218. But they've got to put some strikes together. They've got to consistently find the pocket here. This right lane proving challenging. The previous matches, the left lane was the much higher scoring of the two lanes. Great shot there. Oh no, a paralyzer 5. What a great shot by Ambiehl. Probably his best shot of the match. Look at this ball just hits the 5. It hits another pin, stabilizes, rocks back and forth, can't get the strike. That's the Paralyzer 5. Now everybody with their hand up. Young Ambiehl will owe the house a drink if he misses, but he doesn't. So no trouble there converting that 5 pin, but what a bad break to leave it in the first place in a time when they desperately needed that strike. I mean, down to our last 2 frames here. Here's Emily Rogers in her last shot of the match. She's gone strike, 6-8, 6-8, 6 pin. Let's see what she does here. Oh, it's definitely further left and into the pocket, and there's a weak 7 for Emily. And very important to fill frames here at this point. 207 the max for Ambiehl and Manning. And now 214 the max for DeBoer and Rogers. Now cross lane, she'll get that switch grip into her spare ball and go across lane for the 7 pin. Once again, stay tuned for the interview. There's Marc Chavet. You can see him in the background there. The voice of the Tour de France. And cross lane and converts the 7 pin there. Big shot by Emily Rogers to maintain her team's lead. Again, that fluid arm swing, a really good lesson there for young bowlers. Spares are really just a variant on your strike shot. You still want that fluid arm swing. You want that good line position, good knee bend, and you really need to execute on those spares. Becca Manning in just about a must-strike situation here. Let's see if she can find the pocket. She went weak 10, then bucket. And then high, and then she goes up the lane, almost holds, but unfortunately it goes high for the 4-7. And this lane has really gotten the best of Becca. Very excellent player, but just can't find the range on this right-hand lane. And again, I will tell you, the score is higher on the left lane. The winner is coming from the left lane. And let's see how Becca makes out on this 4-7 spare. And no trouble there. And unfortunately, their max now 195. They're going to need some help from Mike DeBoer in the 10th. He'll only need a mark to lock this up. Once again, the winner faces number 3 seeds Philip Manning and Avon Rhodes. Both of England. Avon Rhodes also 17. Here's DeBoer. Mark wins it. And right down the pike, right to the pocket, slaps the 10 out this time, and that is a winner. Good shot there by Mike DeBoer. He left 2 ring 10s during the game, but not that time. His 6 pin goes to the sidewall and slaps that 10 out of there. And look at all this power. Turns up, beautiful shot, and that 10 is gone, and so is the match. DeBoer and Rogers will move on to face Manning and Rhodes. So it'll be another Manning that the DeBoer-Rogers team will face, but it will be Philip Manning. And there's a double in the 10th for DeBoer. That'll put them in the 2 teens. And a solid performance there. Everyone clean through this match, so some good execution. Unfortunately, the Ambiehl Manning team just could not find the pocket on that right lane. Proved very challenging. A lot of over-under reaction. Got it in a little bit, it was a bucket. Got it out a little bit, it snapped in that mid lane and went through the beak. You could see that the most with Ambiehl's Ocean Vibe shots. And here's DeBoer looking to wrap it up, and he leaves the 4 pin. That'll be a 213 for the DeBoer-Rogers team, and that will be the winning score. Look at that come a little bit high into the pocket there. And now it will be last shots for Ambiehl. Again comes high for the 4 pin. Again, they just could not dial in the range, just managing 3 strikes, all by Ambiehl, and 2 of those Brooklyn. So they only had 1 pocket strike throughout the entire match. That's very frustrating for a team of this caliber. Unfortunately, he goes by the 4-pin and a meaningless Sphère. So nice hug there, good effort, and good showing there by Ambiehl and Manning. They bested quite a few players to get themselves into this stepladder, but it will be de Boer and Rogers moving on. And of course, they'll be coming off to, there's Marc Chavet getting ready for the interview. And you can see 213 to 173 final score. It was closer than that through the throughout the match, through that missed 4-pin in the 10th. And again, Bruce Hall here, your international commentator. We'll see you back on the same channel. You can see 5 strikes versus 3, and of those 3 strikes, it was 2 of them were Brooklyn. 6 versus 5 spares and 2 opens on the Ambiehl Manning side of the ledger. And stay tuned for the interview with Marc Chavet. We'll see you back on the same channel.
Alongside Becca Manning here from the team that just got beaten out of the mixed doubles tournament. Indeed, Becca, sometimes games come down to the striking capability, the strikes. Some games are about the spares. This game is about the spares and that little open that I do believe you left out there a bit early on in the match.
Thank you for reminding me, yes. I was really happy with my spare game. I wasn't so happy with that miss, I'm not going to lie. But me and Arenui out there, never bowled together before. Really good on the lanes together, good sportsmanship. I'm just happy with how we did our spares. Really good with how he played his shots. I just had to spare. I had nothing out there. The lanes weren't for me on that match. But no, I'm happy with the team that beat us. I'll support Emily all the way through.
Emily and Mike going as far as they possibly can. So talking about the lanes in particular here, these were tough lanes for that particular matchup.
Absolutely. They've had a lot of urethane bowled on them. So for the people who are bowling reactives, they're really patchy. Not every shot is the same. That's what I was really struggling with throughout the game. I would make a move off a bad shot and it wouldn't do what I wanted it to. So I was just having to fight my way through that game. That's why the spares was so important for me, because I wasn't striking.
All right, Becca Manning, thank you so much for the insight indeed and the kind words for your opponents that are going to be carrying on this adventure, and we'll see more of you in the near future. We're going to bring on Emily right here. He'll be giving us a reaction after that beautiful W generated with Mike de Boer from the Netherlands. What a team indeed. It's a team. Everything is working well. This was a game all about the spares, and you guys performed and were able to get the win.
Yeah, it was definitely about the spares. Had we missed any of them, it would have been very difficult to pick it back up. So we had to keep sparing and strike when we could.
And so moving along in the tournament now, yet another matchup lying ahead for you guys. How far are you going to take this adventure, you and Mike?
Hopefully we can get through to play the last match and then see how it goes. Hopefully we've got a good team now, Phil and Avon. So we'll see how it goes. Keep sparing, hopefully strike a bit more. But yeah.
And tough lanes, obviously, but you guys might have the advantage now because you know how the lanes are responding compared to the opponents that will just be discovering the new configuration out there.
Yeah, the lanes have definitely changed a lot from the beginning of the day to now. Everything's moving a lot more because all the oil has burnt down a lot more. So we have got a better idea than Phil and Avon will at the minute, but don't actually know until we play it.
All right, fingers crossed. We'll see how it pans out. Thank you so much, Emily, for the insight indeed, and thank you so much for being with us right here on W.O.N Sports.